Okay, very good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Thursday, the 19th of June, 2025. Starting off with the synoptic from yesterday lunchtime. Very good day, I think, from yesterday. A lot more cross-country potential than I think a lot of people suspected. So some very, very good flights yesterday, and a lot of local flying, both during the day and into the evening group. So that was all to do with this big high pressure here that was centered over us. It was very, very hot out in the airfield, very calm winds, but we made the most of it. Overnight, there's been very little change. Other than the center of that high has moved a little bit more to the east. And by midday today, it's much the same story. A little bit more frontal activity with the low pressure beginning to work its way in. A couple of troughs leading that, along with further high pressure reaching up from the Azores, but nothing that's going to affect us for the next couple of days. As we can see, potentially by Friday evening, we might start to get a little bit of poor weather coming through, but quite weak features. So we should still have a reasonable weekend's flying. On to the sat pic now, you can see as of 8:30 this morning, clear throughout most of the country, small patches of cloud in places and out to the west, but we're going to remain nice and blue all day. And no rain associated, obviously, with that lack of cloud, little bits up to the north, but nothing anticipated. And we can run the Met Office prediction through, but it's not going to tell us anything we can't see by looking at those charts. So it will be dry all day. The Odium TAF, then, they're giving us wind variable 3 knots, cab okay. And Farnborough also variable at 3 knots, cab okay. Initially becoming in the early part of this morning 170 10 knots, so southeasterly for us today potentially. Spot winds at height to the south, we've got 110 20 and 120 20 knots at 1,000 and 2,000 feet respectively. And to the north, we've got 130 at 5 and a 140 at 5. So the trend there being southeasterly breeze. We can expect, I think, the same on the ground today. Just going to look at windy to see if that's going to give us any indication. Very, very little showing there. That's because the wind is very, very light. Going off the Odium TAF, it's variable, sort of 3 to 5 knots. What we can see is looking at the Met Office local forecast, they are suggesting it's going to be southeasterly and perhaps southeasterly throughout the day, getting up to sort of between 5 and 10 knots into the afternoon, with gusts up towards sort of 17, 18 knots. So we will operate runway 09 today, unless anything changes. Outside air temperature 28 degrees in the afternoon today, feeling more or less the same with that very light breeze. Reasonable visibility and very, very high UV. We've got 8 on the UV scale, 1 o'clock. So it's a long period of high UV radiation. So do take breaks, do make sure you're hydrating, and if you're flying, do take a hat, please. GFS again showing that that band there of extremely hot weather, 27, 28 degrees, 30 into the city as well. So very, very warm. We can expect a dew point of about 14. Webcams, not very much. A couple of limp windsocks disagreeing there. Very, very blue and very, very calm outside. Already up to, I believe, 24 degrees with a dew point of 16.3. So that's a very, very steep climb, and it's going to continue climbing until we peak at sort of 28, 30 degrees. Sky sight then, the PFD, potential flight distance on the left-hand side of the screen there. Not great to the west, but reasonable potential up to the north, albeit in the blue. So I'm sure we're going to get plenty of customers for that. And looking over at the point forecast for Lasham itself. It's again blue throughout the day. Thermals up to sort of 5,000 feet potentially. On the QNH, maybe slightly less above the airfield, and climbs up to 4.5 to 4.9 knots in strength. Winds very light, thermal top winds, northeasterly according to this, with consistently high pressure throughout the day. Look at the cloud distribution just to see if we're going to get any sort of cumulus. It doesn't suggest that we will. Starting at 9 o'clock, we've got this sort of medium thickness cirrus, which, to be honest, I'm not seeing outside. If we run that through, it's suggesting that that cirrus will be gone by about 1 or 2 o'clock. But nowhere do we get any mention of cumulus in this part of the country, unfortunately. But we will see. Okay, no TAMs then today. 27 down here, we've got the usual Boston Stacy live firing. And at 32, that's the Ash Ranges, they're active. 28 will be the flare firing that we get quite regularly down at Thursday. That's not until later on this evening, so it's not going to affect us. And at 33 there, that is an RAT for overall Alaska, and that's from surface to 2,000 feet, and that's essentially in place all day. Up over at 31, that's the Delta 128, the Everly danger area, that's active. And over at 26, just to the west of that, you've got paragliders at Mere in Wiltshire, and they're operating from surface to 3,000 feet. To the north, then you've got 38, which is paragliding at West Ilsley. They're going to be winch launching up to 1,900 feet above sea level. And up at 46, it's nothing for us to concern ourselves with, but that's just the Otmore danger area increased to height, which has been on their TAMs for a few weeks now. So we'll move on now to the local airfield briefing. Starting with the Odium cross-section. That does support the case of it being blue throughout today, certainly locally. No significant cloud or significant weather today. We've got a light sort of southeasterly breeze throughout, with temperatures up to 27 at about 2 o'clock local. Nothing else really to take from that chart. Glider bookings, however, we've got one K21 for the course flying. There's a K21, two K21s for booked instruction, and there's also a K21 for the casual list. Number 4, the Geo and SH9 are allocated to the bronze to silver course, and we have a K13 allocated to trial lessons. Got some limited single seat availability, and there's 5 on the casual list with 1 instructor in the morning. So if we could get somebody to cover in the afternoon, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, the simulator is available. Just a reminder again about the Aboyne expedition. Do speak to the office if you're interested in getting your name in before it books up, and speak to lots of Lasham members that have got experience up there, and they'll tell you that it's a very, very good expedition to go on, and it's an excellent site, and you'll get some great flying. We've got nothing to report from 2XL today. And in summary, we've got high pressure across the UK. It's a very blue day, and it will be very hot. We'll be runway 09 with cables to the south, and please make sure you're ready when the cable or tuck arrives. As always, do not land or taxi across the disused runways shown here in red. And there's our airfield setup with the winch on the south side grass, air towing off the heart, and any grid in the usual place, top left-hand corner. That's all from me today. We'll see you out there very shortly. To keep cool today, look after yourselves, and make sure we stay safe. Thank you very much.